Good morning. Today we'll start adaptation in aquatic plants. Children, you must have visited some pond or some river. You must have seen some plants growing inside or some plants growing on top of the water. Those plants are called as aquatic plants. Aquatic plants are those plants that grow in the water. Basically, these are of three types. Floating plants. These plants float on the surface of the water. Second one is fixed plants. Now, the fixed plants have their roots fixed to the muddy soil of the pond. And the last one is submerged or underwater plants. These plants are completely inside the water. Now let's move on to the floating plant. The examples are duckweed, water lettuce, and water hyacinth. By the name itself, you can know that these plants float on the surface of the water. Let's take the example of the duckweed. It's small size and it's light in weight. It can easily float on the surface of the water. Now these plants are not fixed to the soil. See the water lettuce. They are floating on the surface of the water. They are not fixed to the soil. They've got spongy bodies. These floating plants have spongy bodies. They have empty spaces which are filled with air. This adaptation helps them to float on the surface of the water because it makes them light. In the water hyacinth, you can easily see these spongy bodies. Now come to the fixed plants. The examples are lotus, water lily. They are fixed plants. They are rooted to the water beds. They are rooted to the water beds of the pond. And as you can see in the picture, they have their roots in the muddy soil of the pond. When you observe the leaf, they are broad and plate-like, which helps them to float on the water. And since they are continuously inside the water, they are continuously floating on the water, there's a possibility of decay and rotting. So these plants have waxy coating to prevent the rotting or decay of the plant. This waxy coating forms a thin layer or a thin sheet between the leaf and the water. It prevents the water to accumulate on the leaves. Hence, these waxy coatings prevent rotting. Now, stomata. It is present on the upper surface. As you all know that stomata is used for the exchange of gases. So they are present on the upper surface of the leaf. When you see the stem is light and hollow. This hollow and light stem helps them to float on the surface of the water. Now, water lily. They have got broad leaves which provide a large space, and hence it becomes a nesting place for the tiny birds or even frogs. Now comes to underwater or submerged plants. The examples are tape grass and hydrilla. These plants remain completely underwater. They remain completely inside the water, and their roots are fixed in the muddy soil. As you can see in the case of tape grass and hydrilla, the roots are fixed in the muddy soil. When you see the picture of hydrilla, you can easily see that the leaves are narrow and thin, and there's no stomata in the leaves. Hence, the exchange of gases takes place via body's surface. So there's no stomata in the submerged plants. Now when you observe the stem, they are flexible, they can bend with the flowing water. The stem is very flexible in them. Now let's see over here the aquatic animal such as fish breathe out carbon dioxide gas, which is used by these plants in the process of photosynthesis. And with the help of the photosynthesis, the aquatic plants produces oxygen, which is taken up by the fish. So this cycle continuously goes on and on. Hence, in this way, the aquatic plants clean the water by taking in carbon dioxide and releasing the oxygen in the water. They enhance the oxygen of the water, whereas the fish releasing the carbon dioxide which is taken in by the aquatic plant. That's all for today. Hope you all have understood the video nicely. Thank you. Have a nice day.